Look, when a voice like Morgan Freeman starts to shake, you know things are not just bad, they're really terrible. We're talking about a guy who has acted as God, the president, and the smartest prisoner in Shawshank. He does not get upset easily, but the video from his surprise press meeting yesterday was not acting. It was a man seeing his worst fears come true right now. You need to know that for the last 2 days, the story about Rob Reiner's death was carefully controlled by people who handle Star's images. They used words like tragedy and passing too soon, gentle words that made it hurt less. But Morgan Freeman just told the plain truth. He did not go out to say nice thoughts and prayers. He went out to tell the real facts because he says the quiet from Hollywood about Nick Reiner is not just ignoring the problem. It is helping it happen. What makes this talk so shocking is that Morgan and Rob were not just people who knew each other from work. They became close friends while making the movie The Bucket List. That movie was about dealing with death, about what you leave behind, and about your life story. Freeman said clearly that during those long nights of filming, Rob talked a lot about his kids, but there was always a dark feeling when he talked about Nick. People forget that Freeman notices things. He watches how people act for his job. And what he just told about the family life in the Reiner home changes everything we thought about this story. He was not reading from notes. At one point, he even pushed the microphone away, looking like he felt sick, and said, "We all saw the problems and we all gave Rob the tools to fix them, knowing it would not work." That is a very strong blame. The big news shows are talking about the arrest, the evidence, the blue tape around that big house in Brentwood. But Freeman is talking about the reasons in the mind for the murder. He is talking about years of letting bad things go on that led to this. He surprised everyone when he talked about something from 3 years ago that never got in the gossip papers. It seems there was a dinner, a private party for people in the business where Nick showed up without being invited. Freeman said the feeling in the room changed right away. You know how it feels when a dangerous animal walks into a room full of weaker ones. That is how he said it felt. Rob, who was usually the loudest and funniest person there, the guy from All in the Family, the smart director of The Princess Bride, got smaller. He really looked smaller. Freeman said that was the first time he understood that Rob Reiner, a big name in Hollywood, was scared of his own son. And this is where Freeman's special words hit strong. He says Rob had told him private things just weeks ago. This was not a quick talk. It was Rob asking for help but not saying it straight. Freeman said Rob called him late at night, asking made-up questions about being tough with kids, about when it is okay to stop helping a child. Can you think how heavy that is? Rob Reiner, a man with so much money and help, asking if it was okay to close the door on his own child. Freeman said he told Rob to keep Michelle safe, to keep himself safe, but now he knows Rob could not close that door. The love that made Rob a great director, the kindness that let him make Stand By Me, was the same thing that Nick used against him. We have to stop acting like this happened out of nowhere. The news likes the idea of a quick mental health problem because it is sad and easy to understand. Freeman does not believe that. He used a word no one else has used yet: planned. He thinks Nick knew just what he was doing. He knew how the house worked. He knew the security numbers. He knew that if he cried, his mom would hug him, and if he acted mean, his dad would give him money. It is hard to say bad things about someone who died, but Freeman means that Rob and Michelle were hurt by their own kindness. They were trying to love away something dangerous that would not stop. Let's look more at what Freeman said about the night it happened, because he seems to know things that go against the first clean police reports. The police report says many cuts from something sharp. Sounds simple and medical. Freeman, who clearly heard from people close to the family, gave a much sadder picture. He talked about no marks on Rob from trying to fight back. Think what that means. It means trust. It means that until the last moment, Rob did not think his son would really do it. He did not fight because he was looking at his own kid. Freeman's voice broke when he said this. He said, Rob did not die fighting a stranger. He died trying to hug the person who killed him. That picture will stay with Hollywood for a long time. It takes away the exciting parts and leaves just the deep, sad pain of a dad who would not believe there was a knife. And why is Freeman talking now? Why go against the Hollywood rule of staying quiet, usually when a famous person dies in a bad way? The people who handle image work hard to hide the bad parts. They want to keep the good memory. But Freeman thinks the only way to respect Rob is to tell the truth about Nick. He is mad. You could see the anger under his calm face. He blamed the people who helped, the friends who gave Nick money when Rob stopped, the work contacts who kept giving Nick jobs because of his family name. Freeman said, "We made a monster by giving it food and then we left Rob and Michelle alone with it in the cage. That blames a lot of rich people in Beverly Hills. This goes with whispers we have heard around the movie studios. Nick Reiner was not just a kid with problems. He was a 32-year-old man who got every kind of help possible. Expensive places to get better from drugs that cost more than most homes, doctors, jobs given to him easily." Freeman talked about how unfair it is for the excuse that will come. "We know Nick's lawyers will say he was not in his right mind or something." Freeman is saying no to that ahead of time. He is saying, "No, I saw him, I talked to him, he knew what he was doing, he was tricky." This coming from someone as respected as Freeman could change what people think before the court even picks people to decide. He is like a witness for the side that says guilty before the trial starts. The effects of this talk are already big. You can feel the worry. Other stars who were friends with Rob, like Billy Crystal, Tom Cruise, they are quiet now, probably surprised that Morgan said so much, but someone had to. The bad stories were starting to go wrong ways. People were asking if Rob started it, if there was bad treatment at home. Freeman stopped that with strong words. He said the Reiner home was a safe and good place. He talked about Michelle Singer Reiner as a wonderful person who spent her life trying to help father and son get along by saying how pure the home was. Freeman points out the bad came from the person who came in. He is making sure history says this right. This was a good home attacked by something harmful. There is one part in Freeman's words that people will talk about for weeks. He talked about a script. It seems Rob was working on a new story, something close to his heart. Freeman said Nick found it and that what was in the script might have started it. It is a scary idea that making art like real life might have caused death. Was Rob writing about his son? Was he writing about someone hooked on drugs who hurts a family? If Nick saw himself in the pages as the bad guy, not the good one, did that make him lose control? Freeman did not say more, but he left that hint. Rob was writing his real story, Freeman said. And the truth is dangerous in a house full of lies. We have to see the order of events, Freeman told. He says he talked to Michelle 2 days before the killings. She sounded worn out, not afraid, just very tired. The kind of tired from years of being careful all the time. She told Freeman that Nick was coming over for the holidays, that they would try again to make things better. Freeman said he told her to meet him somewhere public, not at home. Do not let him in the safe place, he told her. Oh, think about living with that sorry feeling. Think about being the friend who warned but it was not listened to. That is why Freeman looks so hurt. It is feeling bad for surviving. He is wondering if he should have gone there himself, if he should have called the police right then and said he heard a danger. The hard truth is coming clear. Rob Reiner was a man who made people laugh and feel good for many years. When Harry Met Sally, the Princess Bride. These are movies about love and friends. To die in such a mean, broken way does not make sense in the mind. Freeman is trying to help make sense. He is saying the Rob we knew was real, but his real life was darker than his films. He is taking down the fake happy side of famous people. He said, being famous does not stop a knife. Money does not fix crazy. It is a strong reminder for everyone who thinks famous people live differently. They hurt the same. And let's talk about the son, Nick. Freeman did not go easy on him. He described a young man who thought the world had to give him everything because of who his dad was. We see this with kids of famous people a lot, but this was worse. This was bad in a deep way. Freeman told a story where Nick yelled at a helper on a movie set he was visiting just because the coffee was cold. Rob had to say sorry. Rob Reiner, a big star, saying sorry to a young worker because his son could not control his anger. Freeman said Rob looked beaten that day. That was 5 years ago. The beaten feeling grew, the bad grew. Freeman wants us to see how it got worse. It started with no respect, went to taking money in bad ways, then hurting feelings, and finally killing. This is why this is not just news. It is a sad goodbye to a family way of life. Freeman is sad about the end of hope. He said Rob's biggest problem was his hope. He kept hoping the good boy he raised would come back instead of the stranger who was there. It is a warning to every mom and dad watching. When does hope start to be dangerous? Freeman says for Rob and Michelle, that point was past years ago, but they could not see it because they saw through parent love. The court effects of Freeman breaking quiet are huge. His words that Nick planned it and was tricky go against any plan to say he was not responsible. If Nick's side tries to say he was hurt or not cared for, they now have to fight Morgan Freeman, the voice of God, saying, "No, I was there, he was loved, he chose this." It traps the defense. How do you question Morgan Freeman without the decision people hating you? You can't. He has made it hard for the side that blames the parents. And see what Freeman did not do. He did not ask for quiet for the family. He did not ask us to stop looking. He asked us to look more. He wants the world to see Nick Reiner as he is so that fair punishment happens. He knows how things work. He knows rich kids with good lawyers often go to nice mind help places instead of real prison. He is using his fame and strong presence to make sure Nick goes to prison. It might seem angry, but who can blame him? He lost his friend. He lost the guy he sat with on the bucket list set, joking about getting old and health checks. Those happy times are now hurt by blood. There is also feeling let down by the movie world. Freeman said people knew Nick was dangerous and did nothing. There were fights at parties, dangers said to bosses that were kept quiet to keep Rob's name good. Freeman is saying the hiding things in Hollywood helped cause this. If Nick had been stopped 3 years ago for that bad thing Freeman talked about, maybe he would be in jail now. Maybe Rob and Michelle would be alive. By hiding the son to keep the dad safe, the business might have hurt the dad. It is a sad story of good plans leading to bad ends. You have to think what is going on in the jail right now. Does Nick know that Morgan Freeman has turned everyone against him? Does he know his story is being changed by one of the best storytellers? Freeman's words mean more than lots of gossip papers. When he says there is no forgiving this, it feels like the end decision. He talked about Michelle with so much kindness, saying she was what held the family together for Nick to hurt her too. That is what makes it impossible to forgive in Freeman's view. You might hurt your dad in a bad moment maybe, but to hurt the mom who was trying to help you, that needs a cold heart that Freeman says he has only seen in the worst bad people he learned about for acting. The talk ended in a way that was really cold. The person asking questions asked Freeman how he wants Rob to be remembered. You would think he would say, as a great director or as a funny guy. He did not. He looked straight at the camera, his eyes wet but strong, and said, "I want him to be remembered as the man who loved too much, and I want his son to be remembered as the man who didn't love at all." That difference is the big news. That is the story. It is not about being famous. It is about the big fail of family love in that house. We are starting a new part of this sad story. Now the first shock is going away and anger is coming. Thanks to Freeman, that anger has a target. It is aimed right at Nick Reiner and the way things let him go on too long. We will see a court fight that will hurt this town. Secrets hidden in big houses for years will come out. Freeman just started the opening. He told everyone who knows something that it is okay to talk now. I went first. Wait for more people to speak. Wait for the stories about Nick to get worse. Wait for the picture of the happy Reiner family to be taken apart until only the sad truth is left of a mom and dad who let their killer in for dinner. This is not just talk. This is a big sad play like from old times on the news. And the saddest thing, like Freeman said, is that Rob Reiner probably knew how his story would end. He was a storyteller. He knew how stories work. He knew that when you show a gun early, or in this case, a son with big problems and drugs, it has to be used later. Freeman's pain is that he could not change the end for his friend. All he can do now is tell what happened after. And wow, it is a hard story to listen to, but we have to listen. We can't stop looking. Because if it can happen to Rob Reiner in the nicest part of Los Angeles with all the love and money possible, it says something scary about how easy families can break. Freeman left the cameras alone. No helpers, just an old man with a big load of truth. He looked older than ever. Losing a friend makes you age, but losing a friend to killing changes you. It takes away some of your belief in good. And seeing Morgan Freeman lose his belief, that is something no one was ready for. The court date is set for Jan. Uary, but the decision from people watching has already come from the voice of God. Nick Reiner is guilty not just of killing, but of breaking the strongest family tie there is. And thanks to Morgan Freeman, the world will never let him forget it.